I wanted to do this short video about the Monique situation. For those of you that are familiar with it, Monique is an actress, comedian, and she was recently offered like $500,000 for a special on Netflix, and she took issue with that. She felt she deserved more, and she felt she was actually being lowballed because she was black and a woman. So she gave examples of other black male comedians who were offered way more. Those two individuals are Chris Rock and David Chappelle, and then a white female comedian who was offered more. So now Chappelle and Rock, I think, made over 20 million, or about 20 million per special. Amy Schumer was offered 13 million, made 13 million. She was originally offered like 11 or 10, and then she renegotiated for more. And Netflix only offered her 500,000. So she then went public and called for a boycott. Specifically, she called for I think she was reaching out to the black community to support her in boycotting Netflix. Wanda Sykes then came forward and talked about how she had also been lowballed. I think she was been offered even less than Monique. And so then Monique's like, that's it's not just me. I'm like, okay, cool. I have several issues with that. My issues are that I do believe she was lowballed. From my understanding of what her process was, she should have then tried to renegotiate for more money. From my understanding, she didn't really do that. Where she said, why not? Once they was in negotiations, and instead of, she asked why not more money, and then she, they said, well, listen, this is what we think, and they gave her reasons about, other people selling out stadiums. Amy Schumer, they said she sold out Madison Square Garden. But the interesting thing is about Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. I think they are definitely worth it. They are legends. Their names ring bells. So I think there's no doubt. Amy Schumer, I do not think was worth $13 million or $11 million or $10 million, whatever she was originally offered. Because I've never found Amy Schumer's funny. I've seen a stand-up. There's her show on Comedy Central. I mean, I saw that a couple of times. Like, why is this woman on TV? Why does she have her own show? It's ridiculous. She's just not funny. But the interesting thing about that is, once her special came out, everybody else said it wasn't funny. They said it was horrible. Netflix actually changed their rating system from stars to just likes or dislikes because of Amy Schumer. Because of Amy Schumer, how bad the reviews and the reactions to her special were, Netflix actually had to go and change their whole rating system to just like a pass fail, because they were just killing her with the 1 stars and just negative feedback to a special. Not to mention other comedians have consistently accused her of stealing material. And I've seen some videos of her. I'm getting sidetracked too, by the way. But I've seen videos of her telling jokes that other comedians, female and male comedians, had said before. I'm like, wow, it's kind of telling. I do hear joke stealing is prevalent, but once again, I think that's a situation where she's not funny. So I could almost see Netflix But Netflix hasn't said this. So I could see an argument, but Netflix hasn't advanced that argument. But at the same point, in fact, I haven't seen anybody advance the argument that because of that, they felt they got burned and they wanted to, to be more conservative with the money they're throwing around. But Monique, I think what was interesting was that she asked, the rest of, the community to help her by boycotting Netflix. And that's the interesting thing is I've seen like the calls to boycott the NFL. Boycott the NFL because they weren't supporting Kaepernick's stance and other players' stances against police brutality. Like, for instance, I didn't watch any of the NFL this year. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. If you don't give a damn about black people getting killed by the police, okay, I really don't give a damn about your sport, your league. But she's not. By the way, I don't recall hearing her speak on that issue. I'm going to do some more research, see if she has. But I haven't heard her spoke about a whole host of issues, and I definitely haven't seen her going hard as hard as she is going for her money right now on any of these other issues. She's been making the rounds. I mean, this has been going for months now, and just this past week she was on The View. She was interviewing with Charlemagne the God. She's been like all over the place recently, just doing the rounds talking about this whole issue. And I find it interesting that you're asking people that make people that work, working people that go to their jobs. I mean, some people are making minimum wage. Some people are making, $50,000, $40,000. People are struggling, but you're asking regular people to boycott Netflix, which is a very affordable option. For, watching TV. $10, $12 a month for watching movies and everything, for entertainment. So you're telling regular working people to support your boycott of Netflix because you're not making enough money, not because of something that they're doing systematically. Even if they would lowballing other black female comedians, I'm not hearing you talk about other black female comedians. The only person that came up was Wanda Sykes, and she offered her opinion after you came out asking for this boycott. So your boycott was not based on anybody else's mistreatment. Monique's boycott was solely based on what she felt she wasn't getting. That's selfish as fuck. Like, you want other people to support you so that you can make more money. But I'm not seeing you go hard like that for black and brown people getting murdered by the police and police walking away with no repercussions. I'm not seeing you do a whole press tour on that. I'm not seeing you having, even when you're on this press tour, talking about organizations you have that are dealing with other issues for other people. It seems like all of this is centered around you wanting more money and trying to hijack racial and gender discrimination to serve your wants, your needs, your agenda, and to get you a bigger paycheck. That's all this seems like to me, because I look at her body of work. Like, one of the things she kept talking about was her resume. Her resume is why that she deserved more money. But I look at her resume. Like, there's a reason why Magruder, if you don't know who Magruder is, he wrote the comic book, The Boondocks, and the TV show. There's a reason why you were one of his muses for black ignorance, because your resume seems to be depicting some of the most stereotypical, ridiculous images of black people, like in this modern age. Take a look at what you won so many awards for, Precious. That movie pisses me off to no end. Just every dark-skinned black person in that movie is depicted as just an utter piece of shit, and the main protagonist, who herself is dark-skinned, she's a victim, but at the same time, it's just like such a horrible depiction of her. You fear for her because of the things she's being put through, but the depiction of black people in that movie is atrocious. And the heroes are people who are either white or just super, super light skinned, and are played by people who are, I think all of those people, I'm thinking of several people off the top of my head that are at the very least biracial. Mariah Carey plays a hero in the movie. Who else? Lenny Kravitz. And now Paula Patton is very light, and maybe it's just me, but she seemed even lighter than she normally appears in that movie. And so if you just take a look at Lee Daniels' work, you realize that he has a habit of putting some very negative images of black people forward in his work. It's disturbing. But this is part of your body of work. That's part of your resume, Monique, where like you have never spoken on the horrible images that movie depicted, and the damage it can do to black people as a whole, the black community. Because just take a look at the dichotomy between a movie that has such negative depictions of black people and something that's, what black people are celebrating recently is Black Panther, which has such positive depictions of black people. But you've never addressed that. You've addressed your own issues with Lee Daniels, but not what he's done in terms of how self-hating he appears to be in the movies and films he puts forward. But it's also interesting that then you take a look at Soul Plane. That movie was a minstrel show. And the Parkers. And there's one episode of the Parkers that really just solidified how horrible that show was. I remember I'd been seeing it. This was when I was inside. And we're sitting in the TV room. There's a bunch of guys. We all sit in the TV room. And the episode comes on. And it's about an IQ test. And so like almost everybody in the show takes this IQ test. And Monique's daughter in the show comes back with the highest score. Of course, by the way, if you've never seen Parkers, the Parkers cast is mostly black, but there's one white girl who was 6 from Blossom, Jenna Von Oy. So yeah, she takes the test too. All of them take the test, and Monique's daughter comes back with the highest score. But then it turns out that actually wasn't her score. Her paper got switched with the white girl's paper. So, and by the way, something I hadn't even noticed was the professor. There's a professor there who Monique is constantly pursuing. He, in fact, got a lower score than this white girl. But throughout the episode, they're doing all this smart jokes, like how her daughter is acting like she's more intelligent than everybody, and she's putting people down and belittling them. And then there's the line that I actually watched some of the episodes in preparation for this video because I had remembered the quote slightly differently. But I remember we were there and the white girl says a line. And I stop and I look around the TV room at everyone else. And everyone's just standing there laughing. I'm like, did nobody catch what she just said? The line as I remembered it was, I'm dumber than a monkey. But when I watched the show yesterday, she says, I think the actual line, and I stopped watching at that point, so I don't know if she said it again, and it was the quote I said, but the line that I saw yesterday when I watched this in preparation for this video was, I have the IQ of a chimpanzee. And this is your show. And how you let that line, like how you let that entire storyline go through, not just that episode, because throughout the show you'll realize that almost everybody else in the show is a caricature. That white girl is the only character. Everyone else is just a cartoon. But the white girl actually has some depth, and look, they're portraying her as the smartest person on the show. But that line in itself, I have the IQ of a chimpanzee. That what she just said was, you, because that wasn't her test. That she was talking as if it was her test, but it was really what's her name says. Like, it was the ratio. Like, how do you not stop and say, whoa, who the hell wrote this? And but that's what I'm talking about. I have not seen from Monique any level of consciousness, any level of willingness to stand on issues affecting negatively, whether it be our depiction in media, even our treatment, even black people's treatment in Hollywood. I haven't seen her stand on any of these issues until it came to her wallet, till it came to her pocketbook. She had nothing to say. At least I haven't seen it. I was watching a video of Zaza Ali talking about the same thing. And I'm looking through the comments, seeing some people defending her, but they're not saying, okay, check here, this is what she did. This is when she stood on issues of other people. Because I haven't heard her call for boycotts of Netflix, of Hollywood, of the Oscars. Like, Oscars So White, I didn't hear. Yes, Oscars So White. I don't remember, and I'm going to look back through it. I don't remember her standing on Oscars So White, like say, yeah, we need to boycott the Oscars. And if she didn't, that's telling. It's like, oh, because you already got your Oscar, so you're like, no, I'm not with that. And that's why this is clearly just a very self-serving, selfish move on her part to get other people to ride for her when she's not going to ride for anybody else or anything else that doesn't affect her bottom line, her pocket, her wallet. I think she deserved more than $500,000. I think she has enough name recognition that more than $500,000 she could garner. But I feel it's extremely disrespectful for her to come to the black community and say, okay, I want y'all to boycott this very affordable service so that I could get a higher paycheck. Not that we, not just her and a bunch of actresses. It wasn't like she was writing on someone else's behalf, just so that she could get a bigger paycheck. And ignoring the fact of how affordable an option Netflix is for people. It's like, that's really ridiculous. And the line where she says, I'm the most decorated comedian of all time. It's like, yeah, She's really narcissistic. That's what this is about. This is all about her. And so, I mean, that's just several reasons why I'm definitely not supporting any Netflix boycott on her behalf. I think it's self-serving. I think she's self-serving. I looked at her resume and I'm not impressed by her resume. The most ignorant and disgusting depictions of black people that she has promoted and had nothing to say about. So yeah, really, as far as I'm concerned, you're on your own. Thank you for joining me.